Hey there, ladies and gentle boys, welcome back to Avorion episode 17. Right, so today's episode is going to be something in between a build log and a intermission. So, with that in mind though, if you are one of those people who don't really like to watch the build episodes, don't click away just yet, because unlike the previous episodes, I'm actually going to be covering a couple of topics at the start of this video before I actually start building that are important. And so, first one is very simple. Mr. Krabs has been added to the Steam Workshop by request. You can download the big hunk of junk, the Terror of the Terrain Sky. And the second thing I'm going to quickly go over is an apology regarding the previous episode, and a kind of explanation of why exactly something like this happened. So in the previous episode, it was short, and it was me being very distracted, half asleep. That was, even though I specifically stated at the start of the video that, yeah, I'm totally recording this video right after work, so it's not like I'm, waking up after a nap when, these slightly more distracted episodes tend to happen. The thing is, there is a way that videos are often recorded for Let's Play episodes, in that to avoid situations where the content creator is not in a mood or is sick or some other issues occur, they tend to record a couple of, or maybe a handful of episodes per session, and then make them public as time goes on. Now, the reason why I don't do this anymore, and I have done so in the past of the previous Let's Play, one of the previous Let's Plays anyway, was the first one, I think. I used to record like 4 or 5 episodes at a time for the whole week, during the Saturdays and Sundays. But yeah, the reason why I don't do that anymore is because when I play Avorion, and when I upload these videos to YouTube, I play along with you guys. I want to see your reactions for every single episode. I want to take your suggestions and, pointing out mistakes that I made. I want to take those in mind and apply it to the next episode. So I want to build along with you guys and experience this Let's Play in a manner that is much more intimate with the watchers. So for example, without your help, I wouldn't have known how to do the loop commands, for example. I wouldn't know how to do the quick replacement thing with the Alt key. I learn from your comments, and I take your comments as they come. And I think it's interesting to then build on top of them and involve you in live streams like we had in the past with the birth of Mr. Krabs, which might still be a huge mistake, but there we go. But yeah, that is sort of the thing. So yesterday, I didn't keep in mind simply the fact that if the workday is very long and I'm completely out of it, then chances are I'm going to be just as distracted and kind of completely out of it during the recording as I would if I tried to record it in the evening after sleep. So these things tend to happen. I'm really sorry I kind of half-assed that episode, but there you go. So I think that the thing to expect here is, again, that I'm going to try my best to make these episodes a daily sort of thing, but I think that if I do feel that something's not right for that day, I am going to skip a day. So that's more of a, heads up. I'm not abandoning the thing, or just, if you see me not upload it, then, this is exactly what happens. So, we are going to build today, but we're not going to use our normal save. Instead, we're actually going to make a creative mode, default galaxy, let's call it the sandbox or something. And today I'm going to address one of the older comments made by the Madman 3 days ago, where he said that they like my building style, that it's very modular, and it's rather interesting to look at. Now, the modular ship design is something we are, technically speaking, already using in our normal Let's Play. and I'll show you what I meant in just a moment. But I think that the next ship that we're going to actually build is going to follow that exact kind of idea. So what I meant by modular. So let's take a look at just random ship. Let's take a look at our save designs. And for example, you have the Beluga, right? That is our mining barge. And the Beluga is considered, what was the name? Yeah, modular. The Beluga is modular because it is built out of very specific parts. So for example, it has a very distinct cargo capacity over here that's made out of parts, and then on top of those parts you have all of the thrusters. Just like in the templates, we keep on using them. For example, you have the template for our, like, just standard Mark 1 armor plate, which then ended up being the Warzone armor plate with the inbuilt integrity field generator. We also have the thrusters that we can scale up and down as we need, and of course you also have the solar panel stacks that we used on the Beluga and other ships. So these are the module things that we have created thus far. In today's episode, I wanted to make something that I can later on use on some of the other ships. Now, here is the question. There is a kind of ongoing theme that we currently have, that we have this main flagship that we use, right? It started off as one, then, you know, like the names change as it keeps being changed, and it looks like that right now we seem to heavily modify these ships every single time we meet a new material, or at least we are kind of, you know, dedicated to expand on that ship. The last rendition of that ship is, of course, Mr. Krabs. But that also means that as soon as we enter the next zone, the next Neonite field, we are facing the complete reconstruction of Mr. Krabs, and I kind of feel like Mr. Krabs is a little bit special. That didn't sound right, but it's not far from the truth, is it? Mr. Krabs is a little bit more than just a flagship redesign. It was our combined efforts during the live stream, so this ship kind of feels like a very specific thing. So what I think we might want to do is kind of leave Mr. Krabs as its own entity. It's going to be our dedicated combat ship, but it's not going to specifically be our flagship. The flagships should be something bigger, something grander. So with that in mind, here is my suggestion. We either make... and of course, the ship with a view is our scout. I don't want to add or remove anything from it right now, because its current cooldown and warp range is ideal for exploration. So for example, Mr. Krabs obviously has a much greater range because it has a much better system on it, but at the same time, the size of that ship means that if you just want to hop around and explore and grab asteroids and look for crates, well, it becomes increasingly annoying because of the very, very long cooldown, as well as the general maneuverability, or rather the lack of maneuverability for that ship. So I think that the only ship that is not going to be changed anytime soon is the ship with a view, our scout. But I think what we're going to do is make some components that we can use to upgrade our other ships. And today I want to kind of try to create a Mark III design for the armor plate that is going to be slightly different in design. And also I want to make a sizable, scalable kind of engine kind of component, which we can basically just tack on any existing ship. So this is where it's going to start off. I am going to make this thing the default one simply by turning it into a titanium engine. So our root block is going to be a titanium engine. That is, you know, perfectly fine. No, actually, let's just make it into a titanium integrity field generator so that we have a nice little core That thing is 2 by 2 by 2, which means that I can make this thing into 18, and that is going to give the total length of this component a 20. The design is very simple. I'm going to make something that we can simply select with the rectangle as selection and simply save as a component. So that is going to be the overall theme going on here. And I think what we're going to start off with is kind of, let's take a 20 length engine like this and kind of just wrap it around like so. So it's going to be kind of like that. Obviously, we're going to be ignoring our, you know, ship characteristics, because this is not going to be a ship at all. Like, this is going to be a component that you can tack onto things, and nothing else specifically. The one thing I want this thing to do is be large. So I want something that kind of overlaps a little bit. So what I'm looking at, so this is a 2, 2, and 2. So that is a total width of 6. So this is going to be a width of 6, like this. And I guess we can also make it kind of like a 10. Like, the whole point of this thing is to be scalable, but I want to start off with something grandiose. And if the ship that it's going to be placed on does not need something this excessive, let's use that term, then it can be simply kind of just scaled down. Also, I just rotated it the wrong way. Let's give it 1 here. Let's actually make it in the middle. Something like this. And something like this. Not really certain, actually. I don't like these holes that we ended up with. Let's rescale it back a little bit. So, with that in mind, there is one idea that I had in the past, and that is the... Should we perhaps reserve... Okay, so right now our episodes are 40 minutes-ish in length, so that is the default comfortable length of the episode, right? I've been kind of wondering, maybe since we are inclined to sometimes overstep that, should we just dedicate the last 20 minutes to work on the ship? So instead of videos like this that people tend to sometimes skip, we would rather just have the last 20 minutes of every single episode dedicated to the improvement and tinkering with the ships. So it does not... So it's not going to really, like, take away from episodes like that. It's not like it's going to remove episodes or live streams of shipbuilding, but rather we might want to kind of make more content for it, while at the same time not really be something. I might have lost my train of thought as I'm looking at this. Yes, this is exactly what I want, actually. So this is also going to be the place that I am going to be putting that Mark III armor panel thing. And it's going to be kind of a completely different thing altogether. Like, it's going to be, technically speaking, a separate build from the engine. Once it's covered with armor, it is going to be one, separate block. It's going to be one separate module, aka engine, while at the same time, it is also going to involve these armor plates that I'm going to save as a completely separate thing. So, the thing what I'm wanting to kind of make it into is kind of like this. So it's going to completely start off normal. Like, it's very similar to our old design. And it's going to be something like this. It's going to be slightly more elaborate. It's going to be more interesting to look at. And now, when we have that, we're just going to remove these two components. We can make this into... this is not the kind of... Yeah, there we go. Let's go back to... was it 20? It was 20? Yep, there we go, 20. Something like this. The only thing that is going to be different about this specific armor plate is that it's going to be wrapping around whatever it is that is being protected. So let me quickly do the rest of this, and I'll show you exactly what I meant by that. Okay, so you can already see that the overall shape of that thing is going to be a little bit more elaborate than usual. So here we are going to have another block, like so. That goes the same on this end, and this is where things are going to start differentiating. So it is going to curve inwards like before, something like this, right? And we are going to mirror it over here as well. Technically speaking, I could just... yeah, that's probably going to be better. So it's going to be like this, but it is going to keep on going as it bends. So it's going to be like this, right? And then it is going to continue going around whatever it is that is being protected. So that is sort of the overall idea here. Now the question is are these parts currently protected by this integrity field generator, or is it protecting, is it being protected from this inner core? Because right now it's hard to tell. I guess there's a way to test this by simply removing all of the other integrity fields and then testing like this. Yeah, okay, it is still there. Let's just undo those changes. And yeah, something like this. And there we go. So that is going to be our overall design for the armor plates. Now the only other things that I really want to do here is cap them off. And by capping them off, I mean it is going to be just this like this. There we go. Like right here, all I want to do is make sure that all of the edges are covered. This is probably not the edge that we want. This is probably not the edge that we want. Oop. No. Oh dear. This is going to be kind of interesting. I'm about to be confused again, aren't I? Is this the thing? Huh. I mean, probably not. I guess let's just keep it like this. And I guess it'll be just fine. Basically, the only thing that I really want to do there is to prevent the integrity generator from showing. That's literally the only thing that I'm doing there. Okay, there we go. And it's also kind of fitting that this thing is going to be called the Mark III. Because you see, the inner side of it, it kind of looks like a 3. At that point, your mom would be going like, yeah, that's nice, dear. And there we go. Okay, that is perfectly fine. And what we're going to do now... Okay, so that is it. Like, that is the design that I was looking for. Kind of, mostly. Can we merge the blocks? Yes, yes we can. Kind of merge them in a interesting enough manner, but I think that is going to work. So let's very quickly replace this thing with regular hull. Let's make sure that this thing is still... Like, I don't see the inside of it, so I kind of need to see if that integrity field generator is still there. And yes, it is in fact still there. Okay. Let's just select all of that thing again. Control-C, Control-V. Very, very nice. So, let's go to Save Designs. We can save the template from the clipboard. And let's call it the... Okay, and just call it the Energy Plate Mark III. And now, with that done, we can actually equip it fairly easily. Now the thing is, the current plate is actually 20 in length because we added the ends, but we can resize it. So that's kind of cool. And the only thing is, perhaps I should have made the edges kind of longer. Or maybe not. So, there we go. Armor. And armor. There we go. We have armored ship. Armored shippy. Looks kind of strange, though. Don't worry about that, though, because we are about to cover everything else with the thrusters, because one of the things I really want this thing to do is to have a fairly decent chance to actually contribute to the to how the ship actually behaves. So at the start of the production, I noted the length of that ship, so it's 20 units, so that has been a major help. I'm going to probably keep doing so that we're dealing with normal numbers. And I kind of want to see if I can fit 2 of these here. Kind of like this. I might have... There we go. Now it is in fact in the middle. So, yeah. So here we go. Once we have this done, we have a fully functional, quote, default engine module. We're going to simply use this as the root kind of thing, and basically see what we can do with it. So let's quickly add one over here as well. There's a good lad. And there we go. That is going to be our engine design. Now the only thing that I really want to do about this thing is let's make it so that everything is titanium. That is Nito Torpedo. And there we go. I guess the only thing that I really don't like here is the integrity field generator over here is 18 in length. Okay, let's fix it. So this thing is 18 in length, but I do want to fit another engine so it's not, you know, blank in the middle. So let's make it around 16 like this, so we can take a regular engine and just bring it all the way down to 2, and just slot it in the middle like this. There we go. Well, that's enough for the design. Let's make it slightly prettier. Someone once commented that if I just took my time, then I could actually come up with some very interesting designs. And I'm not denying that. It's just that in most cases, I really don't have the patience for it. Like, ship design in general requires a lot of patience. And patience is something that I do not tend to have. So we're trying to do here... okay. See, this is a mistake. I chose the wrong... For some reason, I thought that was the... Oh, I know. I'm actually going to start with the corners themselves. Is this the corner that I'm looking for? So it's gonna be kind of like that? No. Oh, okay, so this is where things get kind of hectic. It looks like that during my placement of the engines, for some reason I gave it a 6.5, and now it's not... And now it's not aligning properly. Oh dear. Okay, there's a way to do this. Hopefully using just the, So here's one bit. Here's another bit. Now these are going to be like half in length. There we go. There we go. All I'm doing is giving it a shroud, that's it. Like, it does not have to be anything else. So this one is going to be slightly larger like that. Oh, there we go. So it is going to be just a shroud. A shroud that does not fit perfectly because I forgot to mirror the damn thing. So there we go. Boop. Now the question is, do I want to continue that whole process inside? Maybe even make it slightly more symmetrical. But if I make it more symmetrical, then... Yeah, it snaps because it's a 6.5. Something like this, maybe? I really wish the build tool allowed me to, like, manually disengage. Well, not disengage, but rather kind of disable all the All the flashing. What is this? 1.512. Okay. Something like that. And there we go. What else? What else? Like, again, the whole point is that this thing needs to be easily copy-pastable on the other three. So maybe I don't want to make it too elaborate. 5 seconds later, Spazzy makes it overly elaborate. Ah, yes. It is time for the bars. I mean, the engine has to be protected, right? I would say this is fine. But then the middle ones look weird. Oh well. I'm sure that we can have, like, we can figure out a fine way to do this. Oh, this is going to be interesting if this thing does not select correctly. Yes, it looks like I have selected something that I shouldn't have. Let's try this again. And let's use one of the top parts. And just place it here. Beautiful. No problems detected. Oh. Yes. Beautiful. I like this. I like what my face is seeing. Now this. Honestly, I would say we just covered up. But, being the unreasonable person that I am, I do want to try to just place it on top of it. But as you can see, like, it's not going to be in the middle, because it's a 2, and it still counts as 6.5. So, I guess if I put the local grid size to half, it should give me a chance to place it properly. But as you can see, it does look kind of strange. See what I mean? Can I place it here? See, it says that it's 2. Like, so, take a look at this. Titanium engine, it's a simple block. It's 2 by 2 by 20. 20 is the depth, like, over there, along this route. So this thing is currently saying that we have a selection size of 2 by 2 by... Okay, let's make it, like, 2 as well, like this. But it's obviously not a 2. It's exceeding the size. Like, something is really wrong with this. Or is it? Nope, never frickin' mind. Everything was fine. Oh, this game is just going to be the death of me one day. Okay, there we go. And this is our engine. This is like Spazzy design engine bay. You know what it needs now? Let's take a look. Where is it? It's a titanium ship name, it's a titanium emblem. I want a custom block that I could write on. That would be a very cool thing. And I'm probably going to post it in the suggestions chat at some point. So with that in mind, we are, I think, almost ready to save. Perhaps not just yet. Oh dear. Okay, let's do it manually. 20 is length. There we go. Nah, screw it. Just 20. This is going to be a 20 as well. And over here, let's just make it slightly smaller. It's still going to be a 20. And there we go. So yeah, that is in fact our engine. Like, this looks like German levels of hard lines. It's like a BMW from the 80s. But I do believe we have created a neat-looking engine. What do you guys think? Alright, last thing to do here is to select it all, hope for the best. Oh, we just saved the shroud. That is not what we wanted. That is not what we wanted. Is it because I'm currently selecting the middle block? I wonder. Control C. Save design from clipboard. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, there we go. Looks like I actually had to, like, press, paste, so that it figures out that, hey, I want to, you know, do this. Okay, let's do it. Engine Mark 1 by Spazalicious Delicious Industries. So this thing only costs 43,000 titanium. At that precise size. Ah, yes, there goes our energy. Well, again, this is not, like, this is not supposed to be a, ship. I do like the fact that it does have some sort of maneuverability built in. But obviously that's not really the reason why we are, building it. Okay, so let's actually log into the Let's Play save. We have 2 minutes left on the counter. There's two things that we need to check it out. First one is, does the stations sell any warp upgrades? Because we still need to, you know, dick out the beluga with that. Hello. Yes, you are going to patrol the sector. Where is it? Okay, the beluga is actually... no, that's the ship with the view. Beluga is still mining, that's perfectly fine. And over here we are going to very quickly take a look. Trade equipment. We have a mining ship. Mining system. I like that. We might as well grab this, because we do have the money for it. We might as well grab this. Yes, of course. I need to actually be on the stations. Like, can you imagine, like, we have Amazon Prime shipping, and, like, in the year of whatever this is with Avorion, I have to actually be physically there to buy a ship-sized control system. So can you imagine it? Let's buy this as well. But no, we only have a crappy hyperspace upgrade, and I do not care about that. I do care about turrets. our salvaging turret, not interested. Mining turret, it's an iron one. All of our mining turrets, like all of our iron mining turrets, are about to be completely outdated because we cannot even touch Neonite, or was it Neonite? Yeah, Neonite. We can't even touch Neonite with iron turrets anymore. So they are completely irrelevant right now. So yeah, by the way, one of the things I really want to do is test out that modular engine thing on the Beluga. Because Beluga looked like the one ship that is the most easiest to install that thing on. So what about you? Upgrades. Scanner upgrade, not interested. Transportation, no. What about turrets? Titanium arm mining turret. That is something we actually need. Like, that is something that we actually need. So we're going to grab that. Boosh. And that's about it. Okay, so we've done that. A distress signal. Maybe we should consider actually answering that. I mean, Mr. Krabs has nothing better to do. Just go and shoot the thing. You know, that's kind of interesting. Mr. Krabs just jumped to that station. Oh. Well then, have fun. Haha, fake! Signal. It's okay. I think... Under attack. No, I'm pretty sure they are under attack. It's them who need to be very, very worried about their current state of things. So remember one of the things that I did with Mr. Krabs was to actually... place the turrets in different spots so that it can always shoot at them. It looks like it's really helping it. Oh, this is brutal. You can see, like, Mr. Krabs always had an issue with turning around to face the enemy, but now the majority of the turrets are everywhere. So this thing is just annihilating them. Just... This is actually beautiful. And the thing is, like, Mr. Krabs actually does have a railgun, so even if these things are mostly out of range... Oh, and now he became in range. Well, that is a mistake that the pirate is going to make only once in his lifetime. Oh, yeah. Mr. Krabs is our main combat ship, but is Mr. Krabs going to be our main flagship? Is the question that I have. I've been kind of wondering, should I try to make a new ship again this weekend? Oh dear. That was slightly too close to comfort. I think it's actually going to be easier if I just jump out. Just jump back in. I have a feeling that might be quicker. So yeah, that is the overall idea right now. And Mr. Krabs can just go back and patrol the sector. I think the one thing that Mr. Krabs still lacks is, in fact, its capability to jump multiple consecutive times. Because right now, it looks like it's waiting for its cooldown. Once it jumps in, I'm pretty sure all of its energy is also gone. Oh. That freaking camera shake when a large ship jumps out, that is just brutal. Like, here's the thing. If it wasn't for the huge cooldown, I wouldn't actually have any problems just loosing that thing back. Like, on the east side of the galaxy. Like, when we pissed off these people. I wouldn't have any problems with it. If it didn't take so bloody long to get there. Oh, hello there, exposed titanium. Let me just slurp. Ah, yes. Big titaniums. Just quickly grab that. Since we are already here. There we go, we are full. And there was one more system over here. Yeah, this is completely fine. So, yeah. So what do you think, guys? I think we are doing just fine. In the next episode, we are going to start making our way. Actually, we might as well just upgrade Beluga now. Like, we're already, like, past the limit of this episode for, like, 7 minutes or something. What's, like, 13 more minutes to just make it into an hour worth of episode? It's just looking around trying to figure out, like, wait, where's the, where's the rest of my ships? Oh, right, it's like one jump away. Actually, Frontier Discipline 5. Discipline... Gate of whatever... Nah, screw it. By the time I'll find the frickin' gate, everything's gonna be just fine, just fine. So yeah, it's this, like, earnest, energetic mood that I have to be in to record these episodes, you know, comfortably, without any force or anything. And it feels so good to play this game in that sort of mood. And I think that if I feel as though I'm not in that sort of mood, especially like during the weekends, weekdays, then I'm just not going to record the video that, you know, that day, and hope for the best. So let's redefine just all of them. Got some titanium, 73. That's not really a lot. Come on. So obviously Beluga is not really meant to be a fast ship. And I kind of like the Beluga tail. But if we're actually going to give it like an engine, like, if we're going to use that engine template, it might as well be on this thing. So, just in case, I'm going to set those things to... Ah, come on, I actually missed the dock. New. Refine. All. Start refining. There we go. Okay, so... that having been done, let's do it. Let's give this thing a nice little engine. It's gonna be something like this. You know, I actually forgot that the Beluga is just basically a lot of engine. Like, Beluga is engine. There was absolutely no reason for this. I mean, let's take a look at it just just to see how it might look. Just set it to clipboard. So let's take a look at this. This is a 5x5. So there we go, 5x5. Now the question is it in the center? Let's not take any chances, let's just go to middle snap. Okay, stop. That is a 5x5, and that is a 1.5, so a 6. It sure as hell doesn't look like a 6. I mean, it kind of looks like it belongs there. What can I say? I think the problem here is going to be making sure that all of these ships actually... Okay, so I made a very overly detailed component. But now, every single ship will have to follow that. Is that a good thing? I do not know. So, for example, let's take a look at the energy plates. Oop. So let's kind of see what we can do. I'm going to use it to cover like 3 at a time. Something like this. How will that look? Strange. It will look strange. Or will it? Never mind. It looks perfectly fine. Heck, I might even place it on top of this thing. Just give it huge... I really just need to replace that thing with a proper actual generator. Let's give it a hat. There's no other way to call it. It's just going to be a hat. No, the Beluga needs to just be completely redesigned. Like, these ears and anything else, it just does not work for it. It looks perfectly fine on this thing. Like, heck, we can even go as far. Okay, first of all, let's make sure that it's the proper size again. Just kind of want to... I just want to make sure it's the same size game. I don't want to actually put it on top of the other. Yep, there we go. That is perfectly fine. And now I want to do the same thing, just from the opposite side. Which I cannot do. Because of reasons. So this is a thing that I'm doing just to follow the overall design. Don't mind me. Okay, there we go. And now we are going to place a proper size of plate on that thing. Maybe it just needs to instantly curl inwards. I'm not exactly sure anymore. Like, I'm currently adding unneeded weight to this thing, and I do apologize for that, but I need to make this thing nice and tidy. And that's just how things are. Okay, there we go. And just another one over here, I guess. Okay, I think this will be fine. And as for the last change over here, I'm just going to toss this thing on. You know, just for the sake that it has one. So that's a neonite, 4.5, 8.8. Oh. I'm sure it's going to be fine. It is slightly chunkier than before. Okay, let's wait for 37 seconds. So yeah, that is the overall idea right now. First of all, how far is it? Okay, so that is the Beluga. It looks like Mr. Krabs is slightly above that, and a ship with a view is actually the same distance as the Slurping Beluga. So when we're going to be moving those ships, we are going to have Mr. Krabs take the lead, because we're going to be waiting on Mr. Krabs's... Oh, there we go. We're going to be waiting for Mr. Krabs for the cooldown. So let's just sell off the excess iron here. And we're back to 3.6 million credits. Alright, gents and gentettes, I think that is going to be enough for this episode. That is the overall idea. Make our ships more modular with more modular parts. And we'll see what we can do with it. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys and girls, and everyone in between, and I will see you in the next episode.